It's the second year in a row you guys have taken a goalie, and you acquired Gustafsson this year. Do you feel you've restocked kind of the cupboard a little bit, and kind of maybe that next?
Yeah, for me personally, I guess I would like to think that our goaltending is in better shape than it's been, I guess, during my time in Ottawa. I think this is probably the best time right now as far as depth and quality, and so we'll continue to focus in on that area. It's an important area of the game. Everybody knows if you have no goaltending, it's tough to win, and so we're just going to keep finding those goalies so that we don't have to go looking for them. We'll have them ready in house, and people will have to call us looking for goalies rather than the opposite. So
you're one junior hockey guy. I guess the rest are mostly heading or already in college. Is it a trend that you'd like guys in college more now?
No, I mean we took Hollett last year as a major junior goalie. We took Mandalese this year. We have Decord, who's going to that's in the NCAA. But right now, I mean, there's some thought process that at some point, because you have to have some sort of a plan moving forward of how they're all going to fit in. But at the same time, if one goalie is a major junior goalie and there's an NCAA or a Tier 2 goalie that's there, if one's better than the other, we're just going to take the better goalie. Like, honestly, I have no concerns about trying to make it easy for Pierre and his staff on those decisions. We're going to take the best goalie, and then
from his goalies, the
whole draft is it was. There was no focus on that today. We kind of chuckled at the table today because it just kind of fell that way. There was no real reason. There was a lot of major junior players that we really liked, but when you can't handpick where you pick, and if they get picked, then you have to roll to the next guy on your list. And we felt at the time that we picked that those were the best players available, and that's how we went. But no focus on this year going in and saying, oh, we need to get more college kids or Tier 2 kids. Not even a little bit. That wouldn't even be close to being true if that was said. So
was that the same approach on Europeans? Like, second year in a row you didn't take anybody from
Europe? That's interesting, because we had a couple of picks that we had a couple of European players that we really wanted, but they get taken a couple of picks ahead of where we're picking, so we had to kind of switch gears and move down the list a little bit. So that's unfortunate, because you feel bad for European scouting staff that are out there pounding it day in and day out, and you can't get a guy. But at the same time, we had that conversation, and it's like Mikko said to us. He says, they're just not there trying at those times, and that's how it goes. But like I said, early on, there was a lot more, European players on the front end of the draft that we really liked, and they just don't fall into our area. So
this is kind of a general question, but what was the goal coming into this draft? And then as you leave, what do you feel you were able to accomplish it?
Yeah. I believe so. We talked this year about making sure that obviously skill is part of the game, and it's a big part of the game, and we want that. But we do need those character players that can play hard night in and night out, and when it comes to playoff time, that can help you win as well. And we believe that we've picked up some kids today that are going to make the Ottawa Senators a lot harder to play against, and are going to be able to produce points for us as well. So we have a little bit of everything. We feel that we're going to be able to move the puck with the guys that we picked. We believe that we have a goaltender that has potential to be an NHL goalie, and we have players up front that are going to, that we have some speed. We have kids that have speed and a lot of grit in their game as well. So I'm anxious for everyone to see some of these kids in development camp, and then we can talk again after that just to see if we're all in agreement. But I would like to think at the end that we're probably all going to be on the same page by the time they leave development camp. So
you got the two Ds going to North Dakota together. How good is that going to be?
Well, yeah. Like, if you look at North Dakota's track record of defensemen going into the NHL, I don't know if there's a better program out there, and that didn't. It's not necessarily how you make a decision. It just happened that both kids are going to North Dakota, but. Christian Wolanin came out of there, and he's turned out to be a pretty good defenseman developing down there. So we're really comfortable with them going down there because we know that they're well looked after, and they're going to grow as players. They're going to get better. And when they're ready, I mean, who knows? We'll see. Christian Wolanin decided he stayed for his third year. Are they ready in 2, 3, 4? I mean, we'll see. I don't see them staying 4 years, those kids. I'd be disappointed if it was 4 years. If it happens, it happens. But I think when you start looking at their second year, it's probably time to start making some decisions of whether it's time to come on or not.
The fact that they had a history together since they were 10 years old.
Completely, yes, completely coincidence. There was no thought process to that at all. Like, we got to get the other guy. They played together growing up, and they're good friends, and they happen to be going to the same school. But I don't think North Dakota picked them because they were friends. They're good defensemen, and one's a left shot, one's a right shot. So we covered both sides.
One likes to talk, one's quiet.
Yes, exactly. One goes by, and it's interesting because I was their agent for Bernard Docker. He said, I went into the gym yesterday morning. He goes, and Jake did his exam online for 2.5 hours. He says then he was on the treadmill on level 12. He goes on the incline. He goes, like, I didn't even want to work out because it was embarrassing, So but he's a high compete kid. But he just goes about his business. He's not in your face kind of. And then, like I said, the other kid he likes to talk, and he likes to he's just a little bit more out there in his personality. So, but at the end of the day, I think they're a little bit different, but yet at the same time, they're both going to be real good defensemen for us.
Does it mean anything, like you took two kids whose fathers played in the NHL? Or?
No, you know what? I think sometimes you think, they have that background, and but that's not always a great scenario either. It's really just based upon the kid, and if they're a player that fits our needs or we believe are going to be important to us. So the Tkachuk family, I mean, we know how they go about their business, and we'll get more of that from Brady, and he'll bring a little bit of everything to us. So we're excited about that part. And I assume you're referring to the Gruden kid, Gruden and the other kid. Jonathan Gruden was interesting because he wherever he played in their lineup, he was really good. And I think that there was some line juggling going on with that team a lot throughout the year, that they just couldn't seem to find chemistry with a lot of players. But he was, wherever he was, he produced. And then at the end of the year, all of a sudden, he's on a line with Hughes and Wallstrom, their top line, because he's the guy that's willing to go to those areas that a lot of players don't want to go, and he has an ability to finish. So he took advantage of it. Like, not every player steps up and takes advantage of those opportunities, and when they put on the spot can do it. This kid does it. So high character kid. And he has the ability to boot, and he's not scared to go to any of those areas that a lot of players don't want to go.
With having 8 picks instead of 4 like last year, does that let you take a chance on a guy coming out of high school or things like that?
Well, it does give you a lot more options, that's for sure, and it gives you some room to maneuver a little bit. Like it did last night. We were able to move back and add that second round pick. When you only have 4 picks, that's tough to do. It's hard to make those moves. If you have some additional picks later on, like we were still trying to maneuver at the end and see if we could pick up another player, and it didn't work out. But at least if you have those picks, then you have some options, and you can, if there's something you really feel strongly about, then you can step up. The third round, it was tough to watch some of those players go through, and we tried to work that a little bit to try to acquire a third round pick too. But sometimes the deals just don't work out, and that's what it is. But we worked it hard. We worked it hard here for 2 days, trying to acquire the best players possible for the Ottawa Senators, and we think that we've got made an awfully good start over the last 2 days.